Welcome, everybody. It's your boy, the Versace Stoner, with another episode of VSW. Thank you, everybody. It's your boy, the Versace Stoner. We're here with a very special episode of VSW. I am alongside
with Disciple here,
and we are interviewing a former WWF Hall of Famer. He is one of a kind. He's one of the biggest names in the sport of professional wrestling.
He's electrifying. He's an American badass.
He is everything that you possibly could want in this sport, and we have him tonight. He's going to be calling in. He's going to be talking. He has a very big matchup coming up this summer.
Oh, I can't believe Frog.
Yes, he does.
Hopefully he doesn't have any ring rust in him, Versace. If his ability's just like his mouth, I'm sure it's going to be a 5-star match.
It is going to be bigger than that. It's going to be a 7-star, an 8-star, maybe even an 11-star matchup.
Absolutely. I am so excited for this guy. He even wished me a happy birthday, Versace.
He did. He really did. I remember it.
I can't believe.
And here we go. Mr. Sidney Bakabella.
How you doing?
How is it going? We are so happy to have you here on the VSW. We've been waiting a long time to talk to you.
Sidney Bakabella!
This kid's been waiting all day to do this.
Good. I'm happy because I like when people are excited to talk to me, and it works me up. You know, I got all this stuff going on in wrestling. I can't wait to tell you all about everything going on.
That's what we are here to listen to. I mean, I'll tell you a little bit about the VSW. We started out last, year at the end of the pandemic. We started to see, the independent circuits around New England just not getting the necessary coverage that they needed. You had great promotions like Top Rope, Chaotic, all these great names, but no one's watching nationally. So I decided to open up a little podcast, try to get people to view from across the country, and so far it's been great. And your name just keeps popping up everywhere I go. Everyone's talking about the great Sidney Bakabella.
As they should. I mean, I've worked for all these top promotions since 1974. I've been working the territories, and then, I've been fired by Vince Jr. more times than Lou Albano. He put me in the Hall of Fame, kicks me out of the Hall of Fame. I mean, I'm everywhere now.
You are, and and I just, I got word the other day that you were being called all the way out to Williamstown. I mean, that's all the way almost in Pennsylvania. Why don't you tell us about it?
I've been down there, I've been all over. That's the old Savoldi territory. Gino Monsoon used to run down there all the time, so I'm very familiar. And then I worked in the Chikara territory for a long time. And, all these Chikara kids, okay, they're not real wrestlers. What they are a bunch of drama school dropouts that decide they want to pay their money and be trained to be a wrestler. That's not how it works where I'm from, and I was never nice to these nerds. I used to beat them up. I used to stretch them. I used to tell them they stunk. And now they want to run their own little wrestling promotion. And the girl wants to challenge Papa Bear to a fight. She doesn't know what she's getting into.
So it's like Goldilocks versus a bear.
He got that right, and I'm a big, mean bear. I'm a big, mean grizzly. So this girl, she doesn't know what it's like for a worker to be in there, okay? She's always been in there with these sweet little kids that have always played along. I don't play along. I'm going in there to shoot on her, and I'm going in there to take my money, beat this girl up on her birthday, and then go home to my wife and my 8 kids.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you're right. I think there's a little disconnect with today's talent. You're right. They're in it for that the art of it. They want to look good on camera and do an acrobatic dance. You just go in there, beat them up, take the money, go home. And you know what? The best part is you're not even alone. That's what the crazy part is. You got the other one, Big Dan Champion.
And Travis Huckabee.
But Big Dan Champion, let me just tell you, he's a monster. I've seen this guy destroy people single-handedly. He's on Team Bakabella here.
If I could have any partner, I want a big guy on my team. If I were doing a 6-man tag match. I want a big guy and I want a wrestler. And that's exactly what I have because you can't go wrong. Big Dan Champion, 6 feet 6 inches. He bench presses over 800 pounds, can dunk a basketball on 2 basketball hoops. That's right, a 20-foot vertical. The man is a real athlete. And if he doesn't like you on a first date, he'll steal the girl's milk.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you, I've watched Big Dan wrestle, okay? He's wrestled all over the place. I first saw him working against Orange Cassidy, okay, at a show a while back. Then, we had that whole pandemic business. I just seen him recently. He was fighting some people. I'm not able to say because the show hasn't aired yet. But let me just tell you, he destroyed whoever went up against him, and it was pretty menacing. The people in the crowd were in shock when they seen what he did to that woman.
Nobody in wrestling is big anymore. There are no more men, and that's why I associate with a beer-chugging brute like Big Dan Champion, because the guy's a winner. Wrestling's about men. It's about fighting. Exactly. It's about winning and making money, and that's what he does.
I think the first dance should be about him, not a straight-edge savior, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, like I said, you're coming from a time when you had these guys like, Haystacks Calhoun and King Kong Bundy and people that actually had some weight behind them.
That's right. And now everybody's 130 pounds. They put on some baby oil, get in their underwear, and play fight with their friends. That's not what I do. That's not what Big Dan Champion does, and that's definitely not what Travis Huckabee does. Travis Huckabee is the golden grappler, a real professional wrestler all over the world. I mean, this guy, England, all over Europe, and now he's on my team. The guy just broke the fat dude's arm, okay? I mean, it gets no better than that. I need a man that'll break bones.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, if this was the Olympics back in the day, you got the dream team right here, Not the new one. You got the one with Larry Bird on it.
That's right. I got the Jordan, the Larry Bird, the David Robinson. I got the 92 dream team, all right?
Now, let me ask you this. Out of all the people this girl could have wished for to fight on her birthday, why is she picking you?
And that's what I don't understand. All right? I mean, what is this, Make-A-Wish wrestling now? It's because I was never nice to her. I never told the pretty girl that she was good. I always told the girl that I saw she could be better, and I think she resents me for it because I'm not going to sit there and her butt and tell her everything's sunshine and rainbows. I'm going to tell her that, hey, this is wrestling, and this is what we do, and this is what you need to do if you want to make a buck.
See, that's the problem. Nobody wants to listen to the old-timers nowadays. They just want to hear, you're doing well and a pat on the head. They don't want to hear the criticism. They don't want to know what to do.
That's right. And what's this broad going to do when I'm up with her and I've got a razor blade taped to my finger and I slash that pretty face and give her a scar from her eyebrow to her earlobe? She's not going to know what to do. They're going to call the match, and guess what? We get paid no matter what, so we don't care.
Plus, you could trend on Twitter
and then don't forget about it. In about 10 years, it'll be on, Dark Side of the Ring as the new mass transit incident. But it's their fault. They put her in there with you.
This young lady, she had her whole career in front of her. And then Bakabella got in there because he's an actual pro and's not going to take care of all these little kids running around wanting to be wrestlers, and cuts her open.
Yep, that will be the headlines, and I'm going to buy 2 of those papers when it comes out. One to get it signed.
There we go. I'll sign it to you from jail because they're the kind of people that call the cops on you.
Yeah, see, that's not the kind of wrestling I used to come to. I was telling a guy today, they were saying, the locker room isn't, if they heard something in the locker room. I'm like, you're lucky they didn't shit in your gym bag before you left. Never mind. I don't know where these people are coming from nowadays, Sid. I don't know.
There was a guy up in Milwaukee that I took a shit in his brownies one time many, many years ago. Colt Cabana was sitting right there egging me on to do it.
Oh, I bet.
Boom, boom.
There you go. This is going to be a great matchup, though. I seen that they actually announced that you picked her team. What did you find, Disabled Wolf, in your little journey today?
Today, they're being managed by a guy who does 8,000 push-ups, 8,000 sit-ups, and I heard he can run a marathon. I know that much, Versace.
Yeah, but you don't think Sidney runs marathons?
That's right. I invented the marathon. Let me tell you a little bit about abs, okay? That guy right there, biggest piece of crap I've ever seen. When he goes to the gym, you know what the name of the gym is? Planet Fatness. Okay? His favorite machine at the gym is the vending machine. This guy here sweats brown gravy, and he thinks he wants to come and say he's in shape and everything else and does all these push-ups. He couldn't push up a push-pop.
Just like that sweat boy guy at Top Rope.
Oh, don't get me started on Sweat Boy. Don't get me started on Sweat Boy. Biggest bald spot since Hogan.
Yeah, I know all about all that on there at Top Rope. And, and like I said, I saw your tweet about them. That's an unfortunate incident that happened over there. But, hey,
hey, I carry a gun in my fanny pack. Everyone knows that. I normally take it out of my gear bag, put it in the fanny pack when I'm in the locker room. I left it in the kids' play area. I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm human.
Was the safety on?
I don't leave the safety on. You never know when a fan's going to come into the locker room and try to knife me.
That's true. After what happened down in Jersey and the fans throwing full ballers at the guy, I would carry a gun too, just in case. You never know.
One night at the Congress Theater in Chicago, I'm in the ring, and this is where I learned to carry a gun because I'm in the ring, and I'm just in there talking, and it was a Lucha Libre show, and I said some things that made them mad. Two guys jumped out of the crowd and cut me right on cut my pants off with a box cutter. They really could have done a lot of damage there. Ever since then, that was about 15 years ago, always carry a gun. Whenever you see me at the ring, you know I have some sort of weapon.
That makes sense. And plus I'm not going to say it, but some of the promotions they run in not the best neighborhoods.
Yeah, like Brockton, Massachusetts. We've all been there. We know.
They treated you so badly when we were there.
Yeah, that wasn't we were cheering for you, Sid, but I don't know if the rest of the people were. They were, and also a lot of them were still afraid, This whole pandemic got people on edge.
It does, and it's really ruined. It's really ruined the way people enjoy themselves because you don't know who's sitting next to you, who's got a cold, who's got allergies, who's got the COVID. We don't know anything, so everybody's just afraid.
This time of year is horrible because there is all that going on. I got people coming at me. They got sore throats and stuff. It ain't no COVID. It's it's allergy season too, and then you got all this stuff, and the people just get anxious, and it makes the shows kind of a little bit, different than it used to be pre-pandemic. I used to go to these shows hanging around with the people. Now I'm kind of like, here's a fist bump, I'll call you later.
I was one of those guys because back in my day, it was always the light handshake. Everybody wanted to do the light handshake. And, I was one of those guys. I'm like, why do I have to do the ceremonial touching of the hands? I don't want to touch you anyways. I'll give you the casual wave. How you doing? Let's have a conversation. I don't need to touch you. I'm not really a touchy type of guy.
Yeah. Especially back then. If you touch someone, you probably caught something.
Exactly. Let's just say DiBiase never washes his hands after he takes a leak.
Yeah, and that's a shame because the guy's all over doing. That's a scary thought right there. Jesus, exactly, Jesus. My God.
But you got their part. You got her partners, right? She picked her partners today. This is absolute. This is crap. If you ask me.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if I would. I'm hoping for your sake that the payday's good because it's a long drive just for these guys to be able to show them how to wrestle. Basically, you're running a seminar, it seems.
How wicked. Not for nothing. This guy hasn't been seen in over a year, I think. Hollow Wicked may be one of the best wrestlers in the world. Why he's associating with and not me is beyond me. How much money are they paying that guy to do that? Because he's got to be getting a lot. And then Ultra Mantis Black, when was the last time this guy's been seen? This guy is he's a legend in wrestling. I've gone to wars with Ultra Mantis Black at the Chikara territory over the years. And this guy here, he's got all of these spells and everything else, but I wear sunglasses, so he can't put a spell on me.
None of that Medusa shit happening to you. None of that turning to stone. That's smart. You do wear them dark glasses. And I have seen your battles in the Chikara territory, and they were vicious, and they were violent. But you are a little bit right here. I would have a tetanus shot for this match because I do believe there's going to be a little ring rust.
There definitely is. They haven't been in a ring in a long time, and I know that for a fact because I work every single show every single day. So I know I haven't seen these two in a long time. So she wants to pick her range. She's a mark for the Chikara guys. She's a mark for all of this stuff. Go ahead and be a mark because I'm not a mark. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to punch this girl in the face and ruin her birthday.
I know.
So I take it, Sidney, you're not going to buy her a beer on her 21st birthday, correct?
Absolutely not. She has half a beer. She's going to be coming on to me. Next thing I know, they're going to be speaking out against me. It's not happening.
Exactly. You know what? Save your money. Buy Big Dan Champion a beer. That will be better.
That's right. I'll buy Big Dan Champion a beer and a big steak dinner because that's what that man deserves. And then Travis Huckabee, I don't know if he's a vegan or not. If he is, I'm going to buy him a burger anyway.
You know what? I believe he is a vegan. I had that conversation with him. And you know what? You get him the best vegan steak that they make.
That's right. It's like beets. I believe that's what they put in
or it could be, pun
it's
intended, Beyond
steak.
Meat.
Oh, it could be. It could be. Something like that.
Yeah, kayfabe meat. No way. I want the real stuff.
There you
got
go. There
that,
you go.
right?
They didn't have that shit back in Texas. You go talk about a vegan burger in Texas, they'll kill you.
Oh, yeah. They will kick you right out of the state and cut your feet off and cook that and feed it to their family.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a rough
It's
territory.
very organic, I assume.
It's a rough territory down there. It's not a good place to come from. But you learn how to wrestle down there. That's one thing you do learn.
You learn how to fight. You learn how to survive because Fritz Von Erich would pay you pennies every week to work 4 shows. I remember I was down there back in '83. Territory was hot and Gary Hart still hadn't taken over the book yet. So what's happening is Fritz is running everything, and it's his boys and the Freebirds on top, of course. We're underneath. And, we're making like $65 a week. And there were the Sportatorium. A lot of people that work there know this. There were a lot of stray cats in the Sportatorium, and what I would do is I would trap the cats, kill them, and eat them because I had to. That's what we did to survive.
Yeah, there's no food. Then no one was feeding you. Fritz ain't bringing anybody out for dinner.
No, Fritz didn't even bring his own kids out for dinner. Look what happened to them, right?
I don't even think the kids ate anyways. They were all hopped up on the hop. But,
there was one time Kerry showed up so drunk. He said that he just got into a motorcycle accident and popped a bunch of pills. This is later on, probably '88 I was down there. Pops a bunch of pills, decides to stand up and breaks his foot. They had to amputate the guy. Half of the guy's foot was cut off.
Ah, Jesus. That's just terrible. No wonder they put him into the tornado gimmick after that.
Oh, that's all they could do with him. He spun around on one foot.
Ah, Jesus. That is great, though. And we are going to, we are, though, looking forward to this, though, this little birthday bash. It's always great. It happens to actually be 2 days after my own kid's birthday. So it's going to be a fun time out there.
That's how old's your kid?
He's going to be 3.
That's awesome. What a fun age. My guy's 7 years old, and, he's just the greatest thing ever. So, I'm telling you, they get old fast, though, believe me. And then they start swearing at you, and then they say that Oliver Humperdinck's their real father.
Yeah, that's when then that's when I have it. So they start going around telling me I ain't their dad. Then I got the neighbors watching.
And you'll be on the Maury show.
I could be down there, but yes, 3's a great age. It's a fun time. He likes to. I haven't even let him watch anything past 1990 for wrestling. He doesn't know anything about a new school. He's great. And
that's exactly what I did. My kid's favorite wrestler to this day is Sting, and I believe that we're working on something right now. Me and some friends when the new guys come into Boston, and we're gonna take my kid down there, and he's gonna get to meet Sting. Very excited.
That is
October
awesome.
27th. They'll be all.
That is gonna be great. You want to know who my favorite wrestler actually is? He's actually this person that my father introduced me to when I was getting ready to watch, and that is the Big Cat, Ernie Ladd. He did some wrestling in WWF, but he did also in other territories back in the day, and he was just always one of the people my dad showed me growing up, and I had to show my kid as one of the first.
Ernie Ladd, it was so funny because he'd be on the other side of the locker room and I was there, and you would just hear, Bakabella. What are you doing, Bakabella? What are you doing tonight, Bakabella? And just that loud voice, and I'm a big NFL mark. So I love Ernie Ladd. So, it was just really cool. And the man's a giant. The guy was like 6'9", and that's the kind of guy I wanted to associate with.
Oh, yeah. I mean, speaking of that, you must have definitely, speaking of because I know you're a big Bears fan, you must have been all over that Battle Royal for WrestleMania 2.
I tried to get booked in that Battle Royal. You wouldn't believe it. Bobby Heenan cock-blocked me. The whole lead up, I just said, let me in there. The people will pop. Everybody will be happy. It's Chicago. It's my hometown. And, Bobby Heenan.
Refrigerator Perry was in there.
That's right. I would have thrown Refrigerator Perry out.
You would have been way sooner.
So you said you're from Chicago, right?
That's where I'm originally from. That's correct.
So the first dance is going to be about you in the United Center instead of a certain Savior?
I had a conversation with that certain person yesterday, and I couldn't believe it. And that certain person is certainly going back to wrestling. It's going to be a shock what he does. I'm excited for it.
We are waiting for that. We will be
7 years
that.
We've been
I got a question for you. It came up in a conversation the other day on Facebook, because I be talking to people all the day, and they were wondering, and this is a question literally from somebody on Facebook, why weren't you given a role in the Young Rock show when you were like a pivotal part of that, kind of like you worked with those guys back in the day?
It's because his grandmother still owes me $150, and I'm the only person in wrestling that won't say something nice about her because she's a crook and she should have been in jail for a lot longer than she was.
There you go, folks. That's for the kid on Facebook.
But they paint her in a positive light.
Well, that's for the kid on Facebook. I was like, you want any questions for Sidney? And he was like, yeah, why wasn't he, he knew these guys. Why wasn't he on the Rock show? I'm like, I'll ask him.
That's right. His old man and I used to do all the drugs in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and, but his grandmother, she's a crook, and I've been screaming that to anyone that'll listen, but she is like folklore nowadays. I can't believe it.
Since you like Hershey, she must have fucked up the Reese's.
Nah, she turned into like the Mother Teresa of wrestling. Now everybody worships her, but you know the truth, Sid.
Those super shows in Hawaii, I was on 3 or 4 of them, and she still owes me pay from the last 2, because the second to last one, she didn't pay me. She said, if you show up, I'll pay you double. I said, all right, great. I get there, and no money at the end of the show, because she only drew 5,000 people, and you have to pay Andre, because Andre gets all the money. I'm not going to argue with Andre.
Yeah, you're not going to fight with fucking
especially when he has a few drinks in him.
Yeah.
No, he was always good to me. I used to drive him down in Pensacola, so he was always really, really good to me. And Andre, he gets his money. I'm not going to argue with that, because that guy drew the house. So, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, that's the big man. But at least give you something, don't skip you completely.
Anything. So I'm not saying a nice word about her. So now the grandson there doesn't put me on the TV show, doesn't mention me, doesn't retweet me like he does all the other indie darlings. He ignores me like I've never existed, and that's perfectly fine, because I know that he knows what's going on and that I don't like him either.
Oh, there you go. And and sometimes that's just the truth, and you got to just be truthful. I'm not one to be with, all the fakeness on the social media. Everybody's, if you don't like someone, you don't like someone. You don't have to like everybody.
Exactly. And I don't like many people, okay? So, I take that to heart. If somebody does something stupid, I'm going to tell them that it's stupid.
And, then you should, and I think it will be a better world that way once you tell people, how things should be. Not
anymore, because you got these idiots like Abby Jane, who, if you tell her she's stupid, she's going to cry about it and then book 2 of her friends in a 6-man tag team match to try to beat you up. Luckily, I got Dan Champion, I got Travis Huckabee, and I don't know if we've even talked about this, but a very good professional wrestler is managing me for the first time ever.
That is going to be amazing.
And he's spot on, too.
He is. This is going to be big, and like I said from the very beginning, Bakabella, you got that dream team here. I don't know what these people are thinking. Maybe it's whatever they're smoking down in Williamstown or whatever's out that way, because it's a crazy that they would want you 3 to come down and beat them up on her birthday.
What kind of misogynism is that? I got a great story about a very good professional wrestler. My very first night
Yep.
in the Chikara territory. It was in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And this guy in a baseball hood comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, man, I've been a big fan of yours for a long time. I'm so happy you're here. If you need anything or any help at all with anything, please ask me." And I'm like, wow, no one's ever said that to me. That young man was a very good professional wrestler. And he is always he was the first person I exchanged numbers with in the Chikara territory outside of Quackenbush. He was the first person I ever did anything outside of the arena with in terms of, eating dinner or anything like that. I stay at his house all the time. Like, what we have is not just on a show. We're actually real friends. We have a real bond, and that's going to help us so much on the 8th. When we're in that 6-man tag match, just having him in my ear, telling me what to do like I always do to him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's one thing having just, a regular wrestling friend, on your corner. But now you got a real-life buddy watching your back. That's a little bit different here, okay? That means, they're going to stick their neck out for you that, a normal manager might not do.
That's right. Most of these managers nowadays, they're not even real wrestlers. They're just friends of the promoters. This is a guy that I know if I handed him my pistol, he would put it in his waistband and carry it for me while he was at the ring with me, watching my back.
See, that's when you can go into the ring with no fear. When you know that everything is secure on the outside, you don't have to worry about interference. You don't have to worry about anything. You can just focus on what's going on in that ring. That's just the way to victory. And that's what I'm hoping for you guys come, Abby Jane's birthday.
We can't lose. We cannot lose. It's going to be, this is going to be a massacre, okay? Because he thinks I'm coming in there to play ball. I'm not coming in there to play ball. I'm not coming in there to, a term in the Chikara territory was always, they come and play with us. And I always hated that. I said, I don't come here to play. I come here to work. This is my job. I make money at this. So I'm not coming in there to play with them. I'm coming in there to go to work, and I'm coming in there to win because I know that if I win, now I come back because they're going to want a rematch.
Oh, yeah. I mean, once you win once, then they're going to want you as life. Then they're going to be throwing title shots at you and all sorts of things. Different things can happen, and, like I said, but that's going to be on them to take the beating. They want to be the stepping stone to let Sidney Bakabella become more greater than he already is. So be it on them, hey?
They want the Hall of Famer on their show. They're going to get the Hall of Famer, but they're going to get the former Hall of Famer because there's a reason I've been kicked out of the WWF Hall of Fame. It's because I don't play by the rules, and they need to realize that. And that the money's already been paid. So Papa Bear's going to be there on August 8th, whether they want me or not now. And if they kick me off of this show before it happens, I'm going to show up in a minivan, and I'm going to drive it through the wall of that building and ruin everything. And I don't care if I kill fans.
Well,
kind of pulling a Stone Cold Steve Austin with the glass shattering, eh?
That's right.
Except this is going to be for the real deal, kid, and he's not playing. This is like you said. He's not there to play. He's there to work.
So chances are we'll hear about it one way or the other, Versace.
Oh, we're going to hear about it, see about it. We're going to know something about it, believe me. And this is going to be something for the ages. Sidney, I know you don't like a lot of people, but I do really, really appreciate you coming here on the VSW. It's been a real pleasure. We are just about out of time on the show, but I do want to thank you. We are a fan of yours.
Thank you, Sidney.
And thank you, guys. It's great to actually talk to intelligent people on podcasts. You'll want to ask me where I started and everything else. Go open Encyclopedia Britannica if you want that. Okay?
I've known about you for
talk to me.
I've known about you for 40 years. What am I going to have to go and ask you where you started from? Jesus, if they don't know where you started, they shouldn't be interviewing you.
Exactly. See, you get it. You understand. Anytime you guys want me on the podcast, you just let me know. Papa Bear will be here, all right?
Thank you very much. Have a great night, Sidney.
Have a great night.
We'll see you at the birthday party.
See you guys on August 8th.
Wow. What
I am
an
so
interview.
excited for Sachi.
This is gonna be a birthday that we will never forget, Disabled Wolf. I am so
We don't know
excited for
how
this.
it's going to happen, whether the match will happen or not, but either way, we'll hear about it all over the world, possibly.
We will indeed. I thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you again, Sidney, for coming on our show. I know you're going to be listening to this later. And, Camp Leapfrog, definitely check them out. Go to IWTV. If you're not already a subscriber, go and subscribe now because you're not going to want to miss
Any
this
show
action.
with Sidney in it is worth the $9.99 a month for
You're
sub.
not going to want to miss any of this action coming out of Camp Leapfrog on that day. And second of all, later that day, you're going to have the IWTV 100, where you'll be having the 100th title defense for the IWTV title, which will be Wheeler Yuta, the current IWTV
versus
champion.
Red Death Daniel Garcia.
It is going to be amazing. I can't wait
And you
for
got
it.
a couple of best friends with a freshly squeezed sloth and an alien from outer space coming back for Sachi.
It is. So stay tuned for all the great action, and we'll be covering it. So don't you worry about it. Have a great night, everybody. Versace Stoner out.
The Serb.